My name is Landon and I use he, him pronouns. I first started at Roots as a volunteer about 2 years ago during the pandemic, probably in 2020 summertime, and my friend was working here, so she was like, come on through, you'll like it. And I got here and now it's been 2 years and I haven't left. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do, but once I found my time here at Roots, it was really satisfying in a way of like feeling like you're helping folks out. And I do feel like if I can engage with people, then I'm more likely to engage people into the system. And if we're able to do that, then we're more likely to help people. So if I can just get some general engagement with folks, I think that's pretty cool because usually the success rate ends up being a bit higher. The Roots community is a very large community, I would say. There's a lot of people here at Roots that have been involved for a really, really long time in the organization through volunteers, through staff members and admin. And the guests are obviously one of the biggest parts of that community, so we're here to try to help them. And a support system really is your lifeline. So having a good community here at Roots is really important. I like working with young adults because I feel like young adults are still, you're still trying to figure everything out, right? So you're in crisis, you're going through a very, very difficult time, you're still trying to understand who you are. And I think younger folks, when you're still trying to learn yourself, you're more vulnerable to falling into like bad habits the longer you go without getting help essentially, or not having a support system or believing in yourself. So I think the earlier we can try to help folks and get through to them essentially and offer them support and help them believe in themselves, they're gonna have a better life earlier on, right? So if we can catch that earlier, I think that's really cool to be able to help folks at a younger age essentially. I feel like Roots has so much potential. We're in this big building now. We have our 4th floor that is empty. So I'm excited to see where we're able to go with our building renovations, and then how we're able to open up more resources for guests. I know we used to have a lot more drop-in day services at the old space, so it'll be exciting to see those things come back, to have more daytime things for folks to do. Obviously, once the 4th floor gets going, having rooms up there for transitional housing will be absolutely awesome. So the space is definitely gonna change as we add things into the mix, but I think it's all gonna be for the better, and we have a really solid crew right now, so I'm excited to see where it goes. It always comes back to any barrier in the long term, I feel like, that shelter faces when it comes to offering resources, staffing, things like that. It always comes back to money, where the money just isn't there to provide for the resource. And that kind of plays in with the potential of Roots. If people are to give more money to Roots, then we're able to offer so many more resources for guests, and that really just gives them more opportunity to beat the system. So I think everyone should donate to Roots so we can help everybody get into housing.
Hello, my name is Nina. I use she, her pronouns, and I work as a case manager here at Roots since 2020. When an opportunity applied for case management at Roots, I knew I wanted to be part of the solution, really. Having been a refugee in the past, I had a similar experiences, not the same, but similar experiences. So I knew roughly what the youth is going through, being homeless and not having anyone to really turn to. It's a little bit like being a jack of all trades, being a case manager. It goes from the most basic needs of, say, applying for food stamps, getting an ID, or collecting a documentation for an ID. Oftentimes, young people find themselves with unsurmountable obstacles, and so they have a hard time seeing the future. So it's, as a case manager, it is my job, or at least the way I see it, is to establish a partnership with the youth, build on trust, and explore ideas and needs. Basically, we are here to provide a buffer or a airbag, if you will, for many people, for many young people who would otherwise just be hitting the hard concrete as opposed to sleeping on a mattress. The way I see it, it's it's a kind of a sense of service that is driving me to return to roots. I'd like to say that success is the reason why I keep returning, but that's not realistic, unfortunately. There's a lot more setbacks and challenges than actual success stories, but it's a kind of a mission, really, to just show up and do the work necessary without attaching myself to certain expectations, but just to continue to come in and chip away.
My name is Tyrone Evans Floyd, he, him pronouns. I came to Roots April of 2011. I came up here from Atlanta, Georgia. Roots was really one of my main decisions on me coming up here to better myself. I didn't really feel like I was homeless. I didn't really represent myself as a homeless individual. I just had to reset my life, and Roots gave me that opportunity to better myself, and help me get to where I need to be. They never looked at me as if I was just some homeless dude. They always looked at me as a human being. They always respected me as a human being, and never negative, always positive. And every time I stepped in, they always gave me some type of encouragement. I think I laughed more at Roots than anywhere else during my time as a young adult. I was really at peace at Roots. I keep coming back to Roots to volunteer or to help. It's because I want to give that next person the same opportunity that I had. There's a lot of people who are out there that are like me, that just need that extra push. And if they did it for me, then I can clearly help somebody else and pass that on to the next person. Because clearly there's a lot of people out here who do need that help and may not know much about Roots. So I think it's my job to help with that. I would say donation is very important because you can help the next generation of kids, of young adults who are like me, who wants to better themselves. And each dime, penny, whatever that you can give is important because it helps the next generation to, get on their feet. Because I don't believe anybody would want to be in this type of predicament.